So what is going on, everybody? Fernando Silva here with another video. And about 2 weeks ago, we actually released a video for my top iPad Pro accessories under $100. But today what I want to talk to you guys about is just overall tech accessories under $100, which I think are extremely useful no matter what situation you're in, no matter what OS you're using, no matter what computing device you're using. And there's some other extras that I did want to throw in here. But big thank you to Basis. They sent over a couple products that we're going to go over in a little bit. And we're also going to mention some other ones as the video goes along. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. So the first product that we're actually going to talk about is an absolute game changer, and it's not something that I thought I needed until I had it. So this is the Basis Car Vacuum. And yes, I know I'm saying it, we're talking about a vacuum on the channel, but this thing is freaking amazing. It's like finally somebody created a vacuum made for 2021 for like techie people that want to keep their car clean or just their area clean. It is a kind of handheld vacuum, very, very sturdy and hefty to hold on to, and it has two speeds, right? It's got like a low power mode and then a high speed mode. And you can see in the B-roll that it sucks up pretty much anything that you need it to. Again, the chamber is pretty small, so don't think that you're going to be able to vacuum an entire house with this. It's made to get into those little areas in the car which maybe you can't really get to. Maybe you have a french fry that slipped or a couple potato chips that slipped down there. Or maybe you have a dog or an animal that you put in your car and you got fur all over the place, which is my exact situation. This is by Basis. It is their car vacuum, and I think for the price, it's an absolute game changer, especially for something in your car and maybe even something at your desk. Just to quickly clean up any debris or anything. For example, I have all my animals, they shed, and sometimes the cats, they get on top of the actual desk and they shed some hair. I like to vacuum that up and get rid of all those like loose hairs that are on the desk itself. And one beautiful thing about it is that it's totally portable. It charges via USBC. Like I said, it has those two modes for low power and high power mode. You can easily empty out the tank by unscrewing the top and emptying out the tank of all the dirty debris that you sucked up. And then it also has a little filter in there which you can clean with water, just like the Dyson vacuums, if you guys are aware of that. But again, this is the car vacuum by Basis. Absolutely love it. And it's one of those items that I said before, you don't really know that you need it until you have it. So big kudos for Basis for making that cool little transition into maybe a tech vacuum. And overall, I'm very happy with what it's been able to do, and it brings two little attachments as well. So if you really want to get into those nooks and crannies, you definitely can. The next item we're going to talk about is a power supply solution. Now this thing is awesome. I have actually a very similar one by RavPower, and this one's by Basis as well. Basically what it is a 65 watt GAN charger that has two plugins, right? So you plug in on the back and plug into the actual wall outlet. And then on the front side, you have 4 ports. So you have 2 USB-C PD ports, you have one 3.1 fast charge USB-A port, and then one regular USB-A port. But what sets this one apart from every other one that I've seen, because again, there are very similar ones out there on the market, this actually brings 2 AC ports on the side. So you can plug in your new 140 watt Apple brick that you can charge your MacBook Pro, your M1 Max MacBook Pro, and charge it at that 140 watts while still having those other ports available. So having that power and that flexibility to be able to use AC ports and have your own built-in ports as well, I love that, because you can basically plug in anything you want into the AC port. Maybe you have some sort of like 8-in-1 port charger thing that's going on, and then on top of that you have the built-in ports. So you can go as crazy as you want with this one and have up to like 20 ports at once if you really want to. But again, that is by Basis. It's a 65 watt GAN charger with one single product plugged in, 65 watts with 2 of those USB-C ports. You get 45 watt charging and then 20 watt, and then it starts to divvy up all the other ones once you start using all the remaining ports. So that is also by Basis. Absolutely love this, and it's going to be a mainstay for my desk setup when I stick it underneath the actual desk. So the next few items that I do want to talk about revolve around the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pros, anything with a USB-C port, and then also the iPad Pros, the iPad Air, the new iPad Mini. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is my keyboard of choice. So I love having a Bluetooth keyboard, and if you've been following the channel, this one by Satechi, the X1 Slim, is absolutely amazing. If you love Apple's aesthetic, if you love the style of keyboard, if you love the actual key travel from the Apple actual products, then you're going to love the Satechi ones. The Satechi ones are pretty much a one-to-one comparison to those Apple Magic keyboards, but you get different colorways, and also they're usually cheaper than Apple branded ones, obviously. And then on top of that, this Satechi X1 actually pairs with up to 3 different devices. So I can pair with my MacBook Air and my iPad Pro, and if I have a third device that I want to plug into it or connect to it, I can do that. Versus the Apple Magic keyboards, they don't have all that connectivity issue, right? Obviously when universal control, maybe that will be a thing in the past, but for right now, if you want to have one keyboard for multiple devices, you can't really go with Apple's Magic Keyboard because it doesn't allow you to connect to multiple devices at the same time. And then to keep going with that little keyboard, on the back of the keyboard, I actually have a adjustable kind of tilting stand. So it allows me to put my keyboard at pretty much any angle that I want, and it has so many different functions. I'm gonna write down the name of the company because I forget it off the top of my head, but it's a simple little add-on. It sticks on with adhesive, and then again, you can customize it to whatever angle that you want to make sure that your wrists and your ergonomics are whatever you see fit. And then continue on with that topic of ergonomics, I got myself a wrist rest. Now, don't click off this video because I know a lot of people, especially myself, before I got this wrist rest, I was the type of person that thought, do I really need a wrist rest? Do I really need to spend any amount of money on putting just like a slab of cushion underneath my wrist? And for the most part, I used to say no. I was like, this is a waste of money. No matter if I got a $10 one or a $100 one, I always thought it would be a waste of money until I got one by Grovemade. So this one particularly is by Grovemade. It's a little bit on the pricier side because of what it's made out of. It's handmade and made out of wood. It has real leather on there. It's perfectly and like precision made, all like I said, handmade. And I just love the smell, the feel, the aesthetic, how it fits with my desk and with my leather mat from Orbit Key. So overall, I love this wrist rest. And again, you don't have to go out and spend $50, $80 on one. Go get yourself a $10 one if you want to try it out first, because again, it made a very, very big difference with how my hands felt over time, because my hands and my fingers, they tend to lock up after a while, but having kind of that wrist upwards and making sure that you're all good to go, and from an ergonomic standpoint, really did help out. So I highly recommend at least dabbling in with those wrist rests, and don't kind of just dismiss it like I used to, because I used to be that person for the last 27 years, but now I think we've grown up a little bit. Another accessory that can be used with the new MacBooks, with the new MacBook Pros, and also with any of the iPads that have USB-C is this new Basis 8-in-1 USB-C adapter, or USB-C hub. So what it brings is you have one cable that connects directly into your device, USB-C. It's not Thunderbolt, so keep that in mind. And then you get a bunch of different peripherals, right? You get 3 USB-A 3.1 ports, you get an HDMI port, a micro SD, an SD card slot, you get a power pass-through for USB-C, and then you also get an Ethernet port. So if you want to hardwire yourself into the internet, by all means, you can do that. And what I love about this one is, A, the build quality, so it has that nice aluminum finish, it has that kind of Apple-esque feel, but then I also love how big the LED indicator is. If you guys see how big it is, you will never not know if it's working or not. A lot of the ones that I've used in the past, some of them have LED indicators, some don't, but the ones that do, they're usually very, very small, and if you're in a very brightly lit situation, or maybe you're outside in a coffee shop, you're not going to be able to actually tell that it's plugged in unless you actually look at your iPad or look at your MacBook and see that something is actually plugged in. So it's those little things that you don't really think about that actually make a big difference. So having that huge LED light that actually passes through on the top and on the side is actually a pretty nice feature that I didn't think I needed, but again, that is by Basis, and it has everything that you would need. Like I said, micro SD, regular SD card slot, HDMI. You can connect SSDs with the USB-A ports that are on there. So overall, very happy with this Basis device. Highly recommend you guys check it out. And if you guys are looking for any of these products, I'm gonna link them down below. If you guys click on those links, it does help the channel out a little bit, but I'm not gonna force anybody to do anything. And then if we continue on, I mean, most of you guys know me by now. I'm a big fan of the MX Anywhere S2 by Logitech for a mouse, and for the same reasons that I like the Satechi keyboard, right? It is a very premium product for not that much of a quality price, and also it connects up to 3 different devices. The one thing with the S2, which I always mention to everybody, the S3 is now officially out. It's been out for a few months now. I want to say almost a year now at this point, but the S2 charges with micro USB, and the new S3 does charge with USB-C. The only reason I haven't upgraded is because I do have some micro USB-C cables laying around, and I only have to charge it like once every 3 to 6 months in terms of how often I use it. So I'm not in a super hurry to actually spend more money on a mouse that does the same exact thing with just a USB-C port instead of a micro USB. But overall, in my opinion, it is the cheapest high quality mouse that you can buy because it has some heft to it, it has some give to it, it has a click wheel which you can tap on to make sure you have the right function in there. It's got shortcut keys, and it works really well on macOS with the Logitech app. So if you guys are into that, by all means, go for it. But that is my mouse of choice, and it has been for a very, very long time. And then when it comes to power, I like to bring my 10,000 milliamps Satechi wireless power bank. And the reason I like it so much is for the versatility, right? So you charge it with a USB-C cable, and you can also output with USB-C up to 18 watts. You have a USB-A port in there that outputs up to 12 watts. Then you also have a wireless charger sitting on top, which is kind of hidden, which you forget that it's there unless you really know that it is there. And that charges anywhere from 5 to 7.5 watts. And then on top of that, you have a built-in MFI certified Apple Watch charger that can never be removed. So if you're going away for like one day and all you're bringing is your iPhone and your Apple Watch, maybe even your AirPods, that's all you really need, guys. That Satechi charger is the only thing that you really need. And again, I chose this one because it is under $100. There's another one by Momax, which I like, but that one's $130, a little bit more expensive, but it does have some nice features. And then a few more items to round off my $100 and below kind of tech gift guide, because these are all things that you can gift to people. This is stuff that you can buy for yourself. Leave some comments down below which one is your favorite, and maybe if this video gets like 250 likes, we'll give one of them away to somebody that commented something in the comments below. But as we continue, the next one is one of my newest addition. It is the Penoval A4 Pro. And this is the first Apple Pencil 2 alternative that I feel comfortable recommending. I've tested so many different styluses. I've tested everything in the market, you know, from as cheap as $10 to as expensive as $80. But this one has found a sweet spot because it does everything that the Apple Pencil 2 does and then some. So first off, it charges via USB-C, so it doesn't charge magnetically. So there's two main things that it doesn't do that the Apple Pencil 2 does do, and one of them is wirelessly charging magnetically. It does attach magnetically, exactly like the Apple Pencil 2, but it doesn't charge. And then secondly, that double tap shortcut doesn't exist on this pen. So if you guys are super heavy into the double tap for eraser, then this is not going to be the solution for you. But overall, if you guys saw my video, there's probably a video review on this already out on my channel. If you guys want to check that out, go for it. I highly, highly recommend it because from a functionality standpoint, everything else can be done with this A4 Pro or this Penoval A4 Pro. I wish I had a better name, honestly, but aside from that, and not only that, but instead of spending $130 on the Apple Pencil 2, you're only spending $35 to $40 depending on when you get it with this A4 Pro. So I highly recommend looking into it, and I like the fact that I can get it in black, which is something that, again, with Apple, you can only get it in that like dull white variant. And then lastly, let's talk about some iPhone 13 Pro Max cases and some MagSafe accessories. So this one is by a company called Andar, which means to go and to keep moving forward. Absolutely love this company. I've had their wallets for the last 2 years, and now that they're getting into the case space, it's a freaking game changer. So this is their MagSafe case, and then on top of that, I have their MagSafe wallet, which again is just absolutely outstanding. It's made out of premium leather. It smells amazing. The longer you use it, the more wear and tear it gets, and the more personal it gets. So I love having it. For the wallet itself, I will say, give yourself a day, like stuff that thing with some credit cards and some other stuff in there to make sure it expands a little bit. Because the first day that I did get it, it only fit 2 credit cards and fit them snugly. Now I can fit up to 4 because I've been able to stretch it out a little bit. And even when you do stretch it out, it doesn't become so loose that if you only have 1 or 2 cards in there, it'll slip out. So don't worry about that. But overall, love the Andar case and the wallet. If I were to choose one of the two and you already have like a MagSafe case sitting around, that wallet is a game changer and it's a little bit cheaper than Apple's version. Sure, it doesn't have the Find My features, but again, overall, absolutely love that wallet. And then the last thing we're going to mention is the Satechi 2-in-1 MagSafe charger. Absolutely love this accessory, and I will actually post that there is a new 3-in-1 MagSafe charger they just released. I haven't been able to get my hands on it, but it looks very cool. And basically, it's for your Apple ecosystem, right? It's for your iPhone, it's for your Apple Watch, and it's for your AirPods. The one that I have charges my iPhone with MagSafe and then my AirPods Pro, and the new one, it does include an Apple Watch charger, which I can't wait to get my hands on. So those are my top, I guess, 8, 9, 10 accessories that I would recommend for the holiday season. I'm sure there's a bunch of Black Friday deals, so definitely check out the links down below. That'll be the cheapest way to get any of these products. I highly, highly recommend looking into them. Buy something for yourself. Buy some gifts for somebody else. See if some people deserve your love from a tech perspective. But that's going to do for this video. Hopefully everyone enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new or maybe found something that you're going to add to your everyday carry or to your desk setup. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Leave some comments down below. Again, 250 likes and we'll give one of these, anything that you want out of this little array of products, we'll give it away. But until next time, peace.